when people put themselves out there and not have any expectation, but with a thought of this might impact at least one person, and then
For granted, and I want y'all to take advantage of everything. If you think about getting a course careers, take that leap. If you think about getting tech sales, even if you don't got nothing to do with tech sales, take that leap and just go your hardest and just have belief in yourself, and you're gonna be able to make it. So what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Solid. I'm right back with another episode of Solid Business. Today we got a very special guest. We got a tech sales phenom, dynamic sales acumen, absolute superstar in the tech sales realm. So we got Chris here. He was definitely a big inspiration to me. When I seen him, I was just in a struggle trying to get to the position I'm in now. And I seen him and I'm like, dang, this is very inspirational. And he was telling his story about course careers and how it changed his life, and it really resonated with me. You feel me? Some course careers videos I see, I don't know if they pay actors, I don't know if it's real, and it's money on the line. So I'm not trying to get scammed. It's a lot that goes into it. So being able to see some genuine videos on YouTube definitely helped change my life. So we got Chris in the building. Chris, I appreciate you joining.
man, I appreciate you for having me, man. Much love.
For sure. Love, love. So we're gonna be going over a few things today. This video is really one of them videos, like one of the videos we wish we would have been able to see before we broke into the industry, because it's a lack of knowledge and just really education that will stop somebody from progressing to that next level. So where if you would have seen a few things on your journey, it'll help somebody. That could be the difference between you breaking in and taking off compared to you being discouraged, never really making it, and then pivoting, going somewhere else. So we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna get into basic tech sales, how to break in. We're gonna get into the day in the life, everything, and then we just gonna get to know me and Chris. So we definitely gonna bring the whole thing to y'all today. So getting right started, right? When it comes to the basic of tech sales. So tech sales is basically you a BDR or SDR, meaning you a business development representative or a sales development representative. You're the person doing the cold calls, cold emails, bringing in business for the company. The salesperson doing all the cold outreach, setting up sales flows. So I'm talking to these C-level executives, decision makers. These is multi-million-dollar companies, and I'm the bridge, the imperative bridge between the business, between the relationship. So when it comes to how to break into tech, we're gonna cover all that. So let's jump right into it, right? Chris, let's tell the people about how tech sales change your life. Let's start there.
Mhm. I mean, definitely God brought it into my life to mold where I am. He definitely used it to take me into that next chapter. And I mean, yeah, I was working a lot of different jobs. I was working in the airport. I was working security. I was working at a fast food place. I was working in construction, plumbing. I did it all. And so for a good amount of years, I was just trying to find a space in which I can dive into. And what's interesting is in university, I actually went there for computer science, but I just saw the information I was receiving. It wasn't practical. Like the teachers didn't really care. And so even though I had, went there off of full tuition, it's like, do I really stay around to see if this piece of paper is going to work? Or do I
Exactly.
go out into the world, fall on my face, get that real life experience and, dip and dabble and see, what are my strong suits? What do I like and don't like? And so, yeah, tech sales came into my life. It brought me to where I currently am right now, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which I think it's a dope place for you to just put your head down, lock in and focus. And yeah, money definitely helped. I got a lot of money stored away. When you're making 20, 30 a year, you couldn't necessarily do, but now, you just have
Exactly.
that flexibility and, you definitely love some of that corporate environment. So
100%. You just broke up. You can hear me still?
yeah, I can hear you. Hopefully they called
Dang,
on that.
this. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, but I love how you talked about all the stuff that you was doing before, and how it was really a. So this the first thing I want to talk about is how tech sales is such a dynamic industry because You don't need no degree. You don't need 20 years worth of sales. Like me, when I think of tech, I'm thinking of the highest level of industry or profession. So where if you want to get into tech, like when I was trying to get into tech, they want you to have 4 years experience, three certifications. They projects on the sides, Nobel Peace Prize. They want you to really already be right. They want you to already have made it before you can even get your entry level, and that's just the help desk. Then you might have to sit that 4 years, get a networking, um, get your network plus, get your security plus. Then you could try to break into some type of cybersecurity role and finally be getting to that lucrative salary or wage that you was working towards. And
Yeah.
tech sales is something that shout out Sebastian. I know that's your homie too. We it's
And,
people that's 18 years old coming in here with no sales experience, no degree, and then coming in here going into tech, taking right on. So it's definitely a blessing, and that's why getting back to what I was saying at first about how it is so important that we spread these type of messages and enlighten people because I remember I used to do shuttles and I was just like you. I'm getting my IT degree. I ended up finishing and did it lead to a job? No. Like I was applying to hundreds of jobs. I couldn't get an interview. That IT degree didn't do nothing for me.
mm,
But while I was doing that, I'm working in Nissan doing shuttles, and it's a lot of people that's in IT. So I'm picking their brain. I'm like, I don't like coding. I don't like this. I don't like that. But I got a tech degree. What should I get into? They told me, oh, you should get into the sales and services side of tech. But it sounded crazy to me to where I'm like, sales, tech sales, like I ain't even getting into sales or tech yet. How am I gonna get into tech sales?
yeah.
So it's definitely a blessing, and I'm definitely glad we get to spread this information. And I'm gonna talk about a little bit of the jobs that I worked. So I was working at my first job. I was a lifeguard. Then I was at Qdoba. Then I was at Chick-fil-A. Like 10 different warehouse jobs. I worked at the gas station. I was a server. I did everything. I worked at a pizza place as a manager. I was doing everything. And tech sales is really that. Because the thing about doing stuff like that, if you do 4 years of warehouse work, that's not going to lead. You might be able to get warehouse manager if you're lucky, but
Yeah.
it's not going to lead to
A little bit
substantial
quicker.
growth compared to tech sales. And just being in 2 years in the tech sales industry, you looking to level up. You looking to constantly elevate whichever way you want to approach it. So you already talked a little bit about what you was doing before. That was my next question. So let's talk about the struggle that you went through to break into tech sales.
Mm, yeah, yeah,
And I
no,
know this is a good one.
it's a good one because it's the main reason that I just give back so much currently because I do remember that struggle. I remember getting into it. We gonna go into it as a sales engineer, and from there
I
I
seen
didn't.
that. I seen
Yeah,
that.
I didn't really know what I was doing. I just went in there with just all this energy. Took this boot camp. That boot camp ripped me off. Like that was horrible.
You
And
did careers.
man, I'm not putting no names.
Yeah, no.
I'm
I
not getting
feel
sued.
that. I feel that. I
I
feel
don't
that.
even know if those people know how to sue, but yeah, just no liabilities.
I
That's why
feel that.
I don't be saying nothing. But
Yeah.
yeah, no. After that boot camp, and actually, I'm over here going too fast. During that boot camp, I was doing like everything. I was, waking up, going to work. As soon as I got off of work, I would jump onto the boot camp. As soon as that boot camp was off, I would like just jump straight into bed because if not, I wouldn't be able to do my work the next day. And like also, I was working uh what you call it. It wasn't HVAC. It was an environmental technician job. So we're in the trucks, and as I'm in the truck, I'm over here on LinkedIn, trying to figure it out. I'm over here like looking over the notes that they were talking about, and I did that for like a cool 2 to 3 months straight. And then after that boot camp was over, everybody was lost. They like we don't know what we're doing, like what's going on. Hopefully all of y'all get jobs. We'll loop back in, maybe never. And so like that's really how
I can maybe never.
yeah, that's really how it was. And so when
Oh,
that boot camp finished, I was like, oh my gosh, what the hell are we gonna do? And yeah, it was like towards the end of the holiday. Um, during that time, a lot of companies were going on like hiring freezes, and it was just so confusing. I'm like, what is going on? And you trying out different things. is not necessarily working. You don't have the knowledge of the information, and so yeah, the struggles was me trying so much and not necessarily seeing results. Like I was going to all these tech events. I was, you know, being very expressive. I was all up in people's faces. People thinking that I'm over here making six figures in tech, connecting with everybody. There was like one tech event where they knew me as the tech guy. Like, talk to him if you want to get into tech. I'm like, no, I'm trying to get into tech.
Right.
And I was doing that. I was watching like thousands of hours of YouTube videos. I was over here, messaging everybody within the industry and just, you know, doing everything possible, but just once again not seeing those results up until like I made a pivot. So
And I love that. And this is what I want to touch on so much is being I'm a tech sales coach and mentoring. And shout out True. He a course career. I want to get to that point where I can be a course careers mentor because I love doing this. I love helping people and being able to change their life and they look back, they're like, dang, like if I ain't see that video or if I ain't talk to him, I might not like I love my job. I'm in a hold a position and I don't know if I would be there if I have that knowledge and that information like you said. So I want y'all to pay close attention, right? Because some people they think just because they took course careers or just because they got a degree or they want to get into tech sales that this stuff finna just fall in your lap. It's not finna fall in your lap. This gonna take a grind. The type of people me and Chris is and Sebastian and all these other people, Trent, all these people that making the tech sales, you gotta have that dog in you. It just comes down to that. I promise to do. And when I be mentoring people, that's what I be noticing is that people rather lack confidence, they don't believe in themselves, or they lack that dog to where they just gonna fold, be like, oh, like I tried to get in. It was somebody that told me, I ain't gonna say her name, but she knows she is. Shout out her. She did 6 interviews and didn't get into tech. And then I mentored her, had a conversation just like this, put on everything. In her next interview, she broke into sale. It wasn't like it was a job that she needed though. And she had 6 interviews, and it's just a mindset thing to where people be like, "Oh man, like yeah, it's impossible. I don't see nobody with success stories and stuff like that." Notice how Chris was talking about tech events, thousands of hours dedicated to your craft, messaging everybody on LinkedIn. This is something I want to touch on. LinkedIn networking is so important. That's how I met Chris. That's how I met the two most monumental people as far as directing me in the right direction. I met them off LinkedIn. You need to be reaching out to LinkedIn like, hey, how you doing? I appreciate you connecting. I look forward to collaborating. Say that to everybody. Start a conversation. You never know. You could get a referral from somebody there, SDR. You get a referral from them. You could just VP of sales, talent acquisitions, recruiters. You build these relationships. They can lead to positions because people hire people. Robots don't hire people. So networking is so monumental. So I definitely love that you said you did that. And I want everybody to just pay close attention on this same struggle that you're going through, everybody went through it. But it's the mindset and optimism and strength, mental strength that it takes to persevere through that that's going to lead you to success.
amen. Amen, man. I saw you got a little emotional. Just talk about that.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, like I'm not a crying type of person, but my eyes will just water like
Okay, okay,
uncontrollably, and
okay.
they definitely just water, and it's really when I hear something real that just touched
Yeah.
me, and I ain't go. I'm glad that you said that because that's what made me resonate with your videos. I see you start dropping some tears. I'm like, dang, like I know this ain't no paid actor. If it is, he need a Grammy because he is doing his thing when it comes to the acting part. So yeah, it's just real. That's what it comes down to, and that's when I be doing my tech sale coach and mentor. They feel that realness from me, and they like, oh no, like I know he ain't trying to scare me. Like I know he put me on for real. So it was just real, and I love that. And that leads us to our next question. Let's talk about what made you interested in tech in the first place.
Mm. So yeah, no. Basically, what got me into tech, I remember, during university time, I was actually doing business for a semester, and then my uncle was like, "Get into tech. There's money in that. It's the future." And so I was like, "Okay, that definitely makes sense." And there was always this interest because when I was younger, I would always play video games. Like I was
Right.
always on Call of Duty, and I actually played it at a good high level. Like I made it to the amateurs. I had some friends go off to be pros. And I'm like, do I want to go off with them or do I want to go to university? I'm like, I go to
Yeah.
university. Um, and so, yeah, what kind of relit the fire back was, just like mine and your story, we're trying out all these different things, and we're not necessarily gelling with it. We're like, yeah, we could possibly do this, possibly do that, possibly get in over here, but I definitely don't see that as my long stay. And eventually ran across a video of Cyrus, talking about tech, and what had me just pay attention because you're gonna see a lot of things on Instagram. Like nowadays, I don't even got Instagram, but back when I had it, you just saw a lot of things, so you kind of just avoid it. But he talked about God, and I'm like, not a lot of people talk about God. So let me tap in, let me see what he's talking about. Just consistently watching his lives just to get more
You
information.
lagging a little bit. You just cut out. You can hear
Oh,
me?
yeah, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. You was talking about Cyrus. A lot of people don't speak about God. That resonated with you. So you said, let me tap in. Let me see what he talking about.
Yeah, and so I started watching his lives, and from watching his live, I was just getting some information, and eventually, I jumped into the bad boot camp. That's basically what it was. And so, yeah, from there, that's what kind of, sparked my interest of being into tech. But like tech is the future. Attention is not a new currency. You know, Technology is only going to get better and better. So I really saw it as a lucrative industry in which you don't even have to be on the sales side. You can branch off to cybersecurity or gov tech or a whole bunch of different things. And so I feel like it's definitely one of those industries where you just put your head down and you can make a good amount of things happen. A lot of it is just showing that you're willing to learn, showing that you want it, and through that, that's I was like, okay, we're gonna settle in this industry for sure.
I love that. And tech, like he said, it's so versatile and dynamic because you can be networking, coding, databases. You could be like an ethical hacker. You could do tech sales. You could be in HR. You could be in, you feel me, recruiting. There's so many niches when it comes to tech that we could branch off to. So that's how we educating this and pushing this. Like we need to, everybody need to start breaking into tech in the community. It's one of those things where people think tech and they think super technical. Like I'm finna sit and code all day on the computer and I'm gonna hate my life. No, this is something I want to bring to the masses too. Is that I love my job. I ain't never think I could love a job this
Mm,
much. I ain't gonna go too much into detail, but I will give y'all a quick day in the life. My whole day consists of cold calling, cold emailing. I don't got nobody micromanaging me. I don't got nobody telling me what to do every step. I don't got nobody. You basically your own boss, and you got unlimited PTO. You got uncapped commission, and then you got the tech events. In my company, personally, we have events. We have what we call retros, where we get together every month, have drinks, kick it. You feel me? So it's definitely a blessing, and I just want to tell everybody that you can do it. And and this is so essential and imperative because you can literally reach out to me. I'm gonna have my link. Y'all see my name right there, Chris. We gonna have his LinkedIn, and you can literally reach out to us, and we will put you on step by step how to break in. And ain't no reason that nobody can't break in. And ain't no amount of education or experience that could stop you. So I'm just glad that we get to spread this message to the masses and uplift everybody. So can you talk about how you found out? I guess you kind of already did this. You talking about Cyrus, like, would you say that's how you found out about course careers?
um Not necessarily, because he wasn't necessarily pushing course careers at that time. It was just I was doing the bad boot camp, and I'm constantly seeing these course careers.
Bad boot
Yeah,
camp.
the bad boot camp. That's what we would call it. I was,
What is it?
constantly seeing course careers testimonials up on LinkedIn. That was when they were, extremely attentive to, putting out those testimonials on LinkedIn. And I swear I saw like 20 testimonials every single day. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And
Right.
so I was legitimately, about to quit because I had like a rough November, December. Like at that time it was like horrible, and it was around that 5 month mark, 6 month mark of like me just trying to get into tech, seeing what's up with it. But God told me, just do course careers and give it your last shot. And so that's what I did. And I went into course careers with some energy, like, okay, like, let's get through this boot camp, let's do what we got to do. I hired a coach. I'm like, yeah, let's just go full throttle, let's see where this gets us. It also really resonated with me when I was watching a lot of the course careers interviews, and they were being genuine. Is like, okay, finally, we're seeing testimonials. The bad boot camp had no testimonials, like zero at all. And from watching those testimonials, I also watched the interview with the owner, and the owner uh, actually had a snippet where he was talking about people trying to break in as sales engineers, but the role isn't an entry level role. So you got people that have experience as a sales development representative, or what you call it, as account executives, going for that exact role. So the likelihood of you getting into a sales engineer role is very slim to none. Not to mention there's not a lot of roles posted up for a sales engineer. And so, yeah, hopefully that answered the question. I might have deviated from it.
Nah, and I love that because what you talked about was how you had hit a point, like a low point right before it. And I feel like that's how it is for a lot of people. And they say that's something just in life, like God, I put you, like you will go through that cumbersome, that you feel me, you will go through that struggle, that pain, and you will feel like you at your lowest, and then that'll be that monumental change that you needed right before you take off. And that's actually what happened to me. See, what happened with me, I seen your video. I seen your
Mhm.
video. I was like, oh no, like I know he's not an actor. Like this got to be real. Like I need a life changing moment like him. I need a life changing moment. So then I seen a couple more. Shout out Jennifer Reeves. I seen her video and she was talking about how she went from Alabama to Miami and this and that, all tech sales. So I'm like, damn, like this is really resonating with me to the point where I'm like, I need to take that leap. But that's my problem, is that when it comes to investing in myself, I want to be cheap. Like I throw 500 in crypto, but when it comes to just paying 500 on something that I don't know if I'm able to get back, but purely investing in myself, my skills, my qualifications, my knowledge, then I want to be cheap. And what actually happened is I got scammed for $500 on crypto. So it was this bot called Unibot, and I went to a Telegram chat, and they set up a fake Telegram chat and told me to do this and that. Long story short, I lost 500, and I survived like that next month before I got paid again. I survived. So that told me like, okay, maybe I could put 500 in the course careers, and I'm gonna survive. So it was just a blessing that I put that 500 in, and I started. So I got my degree in 2022 December.
Mm.
All the way from December all the way to October. So basically a year is how long it took me to break into tech. From the time where I learned about two course careers, it took me 2 months to start it. Then from the time that I started, it took me a week to break in. And I'm still only 55% through course careers. I never finished course careers. So
Crazy.
it was one of them things where I found course careers. I took it a weekend. I had my interview, and I applied all the knowledge and terminology, sales process, fundamentals, lingo, terminology, just the overall mindset of a sales professional. And I applied that in the interview. I was able to wow the interviewer. They told me we love your enthusiasm. If you could sell this product the same way you could sell yourself, we'd be lucky to have you. We can feel your energy through the screen. And one thing that I'm gonna tell y'all to say, this is free game. I give gyms like this and my mentorship, so and it's free. So reach out. I'm gonna help everybody. But my plan for success at this company is create a sales cadence in order to maximize productivity and generate as much pipeline as possible.
Mm.
Certain things that you say in these interviews, that's going to be like, oh wow, he know what he here to do. And that's what I did, and that's how I landed that interview. So definitely shout out to Course Careers, but I don't want nobody to think that it's just like, oh, you buy Course Careers, now you just sit back, kick your feet up, and they just gonna put you in a row. Like, nah, it's a grind, and as soon as you get over that grind, that's when you got your mindset right, and you can. Because when you coming up, you on the come up. That's gonna be the hardest part. That's when you need to have that optimism the most, because it feels like you got that fear, that uncertainty, and doubt of, wow, I might not be able to break in. Like he did it. I seen him on the video, but I might not be good enough. Like I might not have that opportunity. But you don't focus on that. You focus on I'm gonna have the best job ever. I'm gonna level up in tech. I'm breaking into tech. I'm accomplishing new goals. I'm doing new things. And as long as you keep that mindset, you will be able to break into tech or accomplish whatever goals you're trying to accomplish. So now let's talk about because we talked about how hard that struggle was. Like it ain't easy. It's something you're gonna have to really muscle up and really put your all into. So let's talk about that process of how you actually landed your role.
Mm. Yeah, no. So like I said, I got into course careers. I bulldozed through it. I think I finished it in like 3 weeks, and that was honestly because I was watching course careers, the course like at my job, and then when I got home, I was still watching it. And so yeah, after those 3 weeks, connected with a coach, and he put me on an accountability program. He helped in things of uncertainty. Like me, I'm such a perfectionist. I'm such a perfectionist to this day, and so he eased my mind with, okay, this the email templates that you're gonna send out. This is how the cover letter gonna be. This is how this is gonna be. And so me, that alleviates me because I can just go to the templates, go to what he's telling me to do, and then just do it exactly like that, rather than thinking, is this the best way possible. And at the end of the day, you don't have to be a perfectionist, or you don't have to be perfect to break into tech. You just have to show these people that you really want it. And so yeah, the course careers, and yeah, I was putting in that work. And honestly, I wasn't doing it to my fullest potential because I honestly didn't know the information that I know now about how to properly outreach and get people's attention. But after a month, it was just a month of straight outreach, and I got no hitbacks. But I'm like, it's whatever. Like, we just gonna stay diligent and keep going. And then the next month after, every single company that I don't reached out to hit me back. And so it's like, whoa, like now we getting interviews up on the calendar. And yeah, when you do all the work that you're supposed to do, you're gonna be confident. Like, I was extremely confident. I'm like, I don't watch so many YouTube videos. I don't went to tech events. I don't hire this coach, right? Like, I don't went through all these practice, questions and all these different things. And something that I want to tie into, that you were saying, is like, yeah, anybody can do this. Like, everybody starts off being a novice, not knowing anything. But if you really just, dedicate yourself to it, if you just stay locked in, and if you really just have that mentality to not quit, because a lot of it is, people are quitting because it's hard. But, remind yourself, I shouldn't quit because it'll all be worth it in the end. And at the end of the day, it isn't necessarily the destination, but it's the person that you become within the journey. And you're going to be so grateful that you didn't quit once you come out of that end. And so yeah, like, I genuinely urge people to get out of your own way. A lot of times we could be our worst enemies, but once you just trust the process, do everything in any way possible to get where you're wanting to go, God will show you the light. God sees all the labor that you're putting in, and at the end you'll profit because of it. And so just remember, like, all your hard work is not going to go unnoticed. And definitely within my journey of 8 months, because when I took course careers, it was like month 6, and then it took me 2 months after course careers to get offers. Like I said, there was 1 month of me just applying hard, and that other month of me doing a lot of interviews, and then getting an offer within that month. But those 6 months were extremely necessary for my journey. For other people's journey, it took them a week. Some people, it took them 3 weeks, a month, 2 months. But your journey might be different. God definitely built up my character and how I view certain things within those 6 months of just trying everything and not getting results. So I would definitely just say, lock in on a goal. Understand you're going to be a novice. You're not going to understand what things mean. You're not going to have the most confidence in the beginning, but just stay diligent with it. Connect with people on LinkedIn. Just be open. That's honestly how you can reap the benefits from just putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, and finding a way to have fun with the journey. So
That was amazing. That was fire. You was definitely just in your bag. You was definitely
that was good.
you said that perfect, and that was amazing. And that's one of the things that I'll be trying to do is figure out how I could display the information perfectly to like really affect somebody the way I would have wanted to be affected when I was in that position. And one of the things that I love that you talked about is that you're gonna feel like you don't know. So and I'm saying all this humbly. So you're gonna feel like you don't know what you're doing, and that's called imposter syndrome. So I had imposter syndrome, this personal experience. Now I'm coming into a position where I'm selling to the metals industry, a quoting and estimating. I didn't even know they did quote and estimate in the metals industry. I don't know nothing. I don't know the first thing about metals industry. Then I
Yeah.
came in and I'm one of the top performers, if not the top performer. So it's all about communication skills, relationship building, grinding. Who gonna work the hardest? Who gonna try the hardest? Who gonna consistently do these things every single day? That's what it's about. It's not about 20 years sales experience, master's degree, and tech sales. It ain't about all that. It's just about trying your best and putting your best foot forward every day. That's what's gonna make you successful. And I also love that you keep saying you're a perfectionist. I love that mindset of just because you got to get kind of meticulous with the tech sales. Because you're gonna have meetings, you're gonna have to follow up on these meetings, you're gonna have to make sure everything's documented in the CRM. So it's one of them things where you definitely got to be on point. So definitely have a positive mindset. Don't give up on yourself. That's the biggest thing probably that you said. You never, and this is in life, you never fail until you give up. So if you, because I know people they did course careers, 9 months later they ain't got no job. Then I know people that they did course careers, 9 months later they ain't got no job, and I mentored them. Now 2 weeks later they got a job. So it's one of them things where sometimes people they lose that fight, they lose that dog in them, and then that's what's gonna make them fall off. So and I'm gonna give my top three pieces of advice that I wish somebody would have told me for anybody trying to break into tech sales. So first, my first thing, you gotta find you a coach or a mentor. This isn't anything like my homie Jerry. He got his own shoe business. Like it's a big shoe business, and he puts me on. Like if I show him some shoes, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, bro, that's a good price. That's not a good price. Buy these Jordans. They finna come out. He know the resale. He's my mentor because he's already done it. You can't learn a skill better than if you learn it from somebody that's already in that position that you're trying to learn from. So if you're trying to get into tech sales, find you somebody that's in tech sales. You got me as a resource. You got Chris as a resource. You got the whole LinkedIn. If you in course careers, you got the whole course careers community and you want to be networking, reaching out to people on LinkedIn. Say what I said at the beginning, you reach out to them, gotta start the conversation up. Then once you start going back and forth, be like, I love to hop on a call with you to hear about your experience and get any tips, tricks, pointers for breaking into tech sales. Hop on a call just like this with them, and they might put you on everything. Or I'll hop on a call with you, I'll put you on everything. So that's the first way is a coach. The second way is to do the job to get the job. What does this mean? This job, so calling and emailing to follow up for a job is imperative, but it multiplies itself when you're literally calling and emailing for the position. That's your job, is to call and email. So if I apply to Microsoft right now, then I look up, I get Apollo IO, that's one of them. These are called prospecting softwares. Apollo IO, Sales OS. I don't know if you know any at the top of your head, but I know them is two
Mm.
good ones. You can use those. You can get these companies and all of the contacts within the company. Send a cold email out. Cold outreach. I'm a fan of Chat GPT. I thought it wasn't professional until I went into my position now and I threw it up there. They're like, nah, man, you want to save all the time you can get, automate everything you can do, be as efficient as possible. So go into Chat GPT, send an enthusiastic email to such and such. If you want to do that, if you want to type it up yourself, do that. But these is ways that you can optimize that. So I applied to this position. Now I'm gonna find 5 contacts for each position: business development managers, VP of sales, talent acquisition, recruiters, AEs, BDRs, SDRs, and AD, BDR, SDR. They lower the totem pole because they're not decision makers, but you can get a referral code just for them. So you build a good relationship with them, then you get a referral code. You could break in just like that. Call up the talent acquisition, hiring managers, everything like that. Hey, my name is Azuri. Like I just like well, the way I would start it off. Let's say their name is Brad. Like, hey, Brad, how's everything been? That how's everything been? I say that on the phone. That is familiarity. So they're gonna be like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing great. I was just looking for the steps to proceed in the interview process. I just applied to the position. Now, doing that, that's called doing the job to get the job. Only a small percentage of people are doing that, so that's going to set you apart from the competition. Then that email is going to be even more. And here, another gem, email before and after the interview. That's going to get, I don't care if it's 3 interviews, you want to email before and after the interview. That's going to help you a lot. And my last piece of advice is to stay positive. Sales is cyclical, meaning I might get 10 meetings this week and I might get 0 meetings next week. So if I got a negative attitude when I get to 0 meetings, now I'm stopping myself from getting 10 the next time. Or if I people not coming to the meetings, I got a negative attitude. Or if I'm like, man, the phone is feeling like 10,000 pounds today. I don't want to get on the phone. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to interrupt people's day. No, I'm thinking like, man, this phone feeling like it's for real light today. Like people can't wait to talk to me. They can't wait to see what I got to offer. I'm going to educate everybody on our product. That's the type of thing that's going to uplift you not only in life but in tech sales especially. Lastly, you want to keep grinding and networking. No matter what, you don't never stop grinding if you ain't broke in. That's the more part you got to grind the most. And then once you get in your position, of course, you want to be top performer. You want to elevate, scale. But breaking in, that's when you in the trenches. That's when it's going to take a lot of work. So you need to stay positive, keep grinding, and network. I already told y'all how to network. You want to be doing that on LinkedIn. Like Chris said, going to tech events, picking people's brains that is in tech sales or tech overall. You got to put yourself out there and really do everything in your power to get yourself in the position that you want to be in so that you can scale, reach your salary potential, change your life and everybody's life around
Amen. Amen on that. Amen on everything you just said.
you.
All of
Appreciate
those
you,
are facts.
appreciate you. Yeah, for sure, for sure. And it's one of the things where it can be so easy if you would have somebody that give a video to you like this, and now you know step by step what to do. All you gotta do is go do it, keep positive mindset, and have that dog in you to grind through whatever you're gonna do and persevere to get through it. So we went over everything. We went over what it is, what tech sales is, our journey, and even a step by step of how to get in. So you had a big impact on me. Like I said, it was one of those things where I was at a low point in my life and I was thinking about getting into tech sales. I seen your video. I'm like, this is genuine. This is real. And I ended up getting the course careers and breaking right in, and it changed my life forever. So that's what I'm hoping this video will be able to do for a lot of people, and that's the reason I am a tech sales coach and mentor, so that I can uplift people, change as many lives as possible. So, was there anything you had to say before we get up out of here?
Yeah, no, man. I just appreciate this opportunity. I think it's extremely dope how God could pour into me, and you know I write back, poured into you, and then now you're pouring back into the same community.
Exactly,
I think it's
exactly.
just a beautiful thing when people put themselves out there and not have any expectation, but with a thought of this might impact at least one person. And then when you have that mentality, and you're not necessarily worried about the numbers, or worried about like a certain expectation, beautiful things can come out of it. I threw that video up thinking it was just going to get like 1,000 viewers, possibly like a couple of signups, but I just knew I really wanted to tell my story. I wanted to be extremely genuine, and come to people the way I would want to become, which is just come as yourself, come authentic. And yeah, the video got a lot of love from it. A bunch of people showing love, and then kind of just touching back on my story in the beginning, those 5 to 6 months of not getting any results, that's like the main reason I've been consistent on LinkedIn for like 7 months. You would think I'm like a HR recruiter or something like that,
Yeah,
with
I'll
like
be seeing you.
all the tips and gems that I'm popping out. But that's because I just always think about myself in the past and what I would truly want to see, put on LinkedIn. A lot of people kind of just put things just to get clicks and likes and things of that nature. But no, I want to give people like digestible, valuable things so that they can use it within their journey and make a way for themselves. And so yeah, a lot of things that you were saying, I agree on it. Be an undeniable candidate. Do all those things necessary, because effort is something that everybody can appreciate within life.
100%.
No matter age, sex, orientation, creed, religion. When people see effort, it's like, oh, okay, I want to be around that person because they have life. They don't take life for granted. They see these opportunities, and they want it. And at the end of the day, people help those who want to be helped. And yeah, people help those who they like. And so it's all about just, being your authentic self, and, putting that effort out into the world. And, just lastly, touching on those undeniable things you can do, make a video resume, send that out to the hiring managers, the VP of sales, the recruiters, right? Ask for those referrals, within those certain people in the company. You want to cold call, because not a lot of people get cold calls. And I'm just speaking in general. It wouldn't necessarily have to be an SDR, BDR role. You especially have to do it for that role, because the role in of itself is reaching out to people who you don't know, and getting them to take a look at the business that you work for. But just in any industry whatsoever, that's how you catch people's eyes, when you go directly to them and you do things that other people aren't doing. It shows them, oh, okay, if this person is willing to do this now and they don't have the job, how are they going to be when they get the job? Oh, they're going to work a little bit overtime. They're going to be connecting with the higher reps, and really putting in that time. They're going to self analyze, and basically get real down to the gritty of it, and just become a better person. um, and so yeah, emailing, when it comes to DMing on LinkedIn, doing that as well. Just finding each and every way. If you got their phone number, you can text them as well, right? Leaving voicemails. It's just like a lot of things in combination. The right concoction, and you doing it consistently. You having a system, you'll definitely get some great results. But like Azari, I just want to say, much love to you. Like, I really appreciate being on this platform that you got going on. And yeah, like, the main thing is, I just want everybody to take from this, like, we're people just like you. Like we said, we worked
For
all
sure.
those um jobs that we did in our past, but it brought us here. And there's so many stories like us, but in other industries, in the entertainment industry, in the lawyer industry, you know, Silicon Valley, all these different industries. People can start from something completely different, and have transferable skills within that, and come into what they are now. It's just all about believing in yourself, just staying with blind confidence, delusional confidence, and eventually, when you put the work in, all of it will catch up. Trust me, you won't have imposter syndrome when you've been doing everything possible to get where you have to go, and understand God has you exactly where you're supposed to be. So
Perfect, perfect. Round of applause for that. You feel
mhm.
me? And and I love it. And this is one of them things where that was amazing. First of all, let me just say that. And one of the things that I like that you touched on was blind confidence. This is something, especially with content creation, anything you gotta have. I don't even want to put it in a box like that, but especially sales, right? Because when I'm making my pitch, hey, like, if you're not completely opposed to it, I would love if I could get a few minutes of your time just for a meeting. Now, if I say like, oh, if you're not, I start tweaking. Like, if I get nervous and you can
Yeah.
see the de-elevation in my confidence, that's gonna completely reflect on if I get that meeting or not. So I love that you talked on the confidence because and this is where confidence come from, right? And it was a book called Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. And I love this book because he talked about being unreasonably sold. Now, being unreasonably sold on your product, but also being unreasonably sold on yourself. meaning that every single day, just us as people, we got to sell ourselves, own ourselves. Then we got to sell ourselves on whatever we got going as far as the product you're trying to sell or whatever industry that you in. So being able, that's why mastering the key of sales is so important. But the biggest skill is being able to build relationships, being able to influence people. And the way you do that, as far as, because you got to think of it like this, is riches and niches. So, like, if you're real good at coding, that's your niche, you're real good at that. As an SDR or BDR, if you're in tech sales, you're good at reaching out to people, building relationships, going that extra mile when it comes to outreach or networking. So if don't feel like you're doing something so hard and crazy if you got to send out that extra email, reach out to this person. That's your job. That's your skill that you are proficient in that's going to lead to a lot of money. So you need to have that mindset about it. So this was definitely an amazing video. And like you said, we don't want people to take this for granted. This one where we cover step by step everything that we would have wanted to hear. So it's going to be very valuable, like very gems, very paramount gems that are in this video. So definitely do not take anything. So we ran everything past y'all. We ran through what is tech sales, how to get into tech sales, our story. So we definitely gonna keep in touch. We're gonna continue to make these type of videos. So if y'all got any type of questions, concerns, videos y'all want to see, leave them in the comment. Like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna get over to y'all on the next one.